Okay, guys, should we give them like 5 more minutes for everyone to join? Let's just give them 5 minutes and then.
Yeah, I don't mind waiting.
All right. After that, we'll begin. All right. Let's begin. Uh, Thank you everyone for showing up. Uh, so Today we're going to have a study jam with Dominic on how to build an app without coding. First of all, he will give a little introduction about himself, and then he will continue with the study jam. So thank you, Dominic, for being with us. You can start now.
Thanks for the introduction. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So let's see. Percent. So can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so yeah, I want to thank you for the brief introduction. I'll give a short introduction about myself, and I talk a little bit about no code and kind of like why I'm so crazy about no code. And then we're actually going to build an app. So this is what this workshop is about. It's about building. Feel free to ask any questions at any time. Just interrupt, stop me if you don't understand anything, or if you have any questions or suggestions. So my name's Dominic. I'm currently based in London, but I was a former international basketball player for the English national team, and I got a scholarship to play in America, and I played in America for university, for college. And while in America, I was actually an architecture and construction student. So I wasn't in CS in university in my undergrad, but when I went into the field, I became an engineer, and I was doing construction technology. So I was doing a lot of programming in my professional work, but I didn't do it in undergrad. And that's an interesting part of the story. While a virtual design construction engineer, what my job was to do was in the construction industry, I was responsible for building, maintaining, and organizing drones, 3D printer, laser scanners. We was using machine learning to check safety on construction sites. We was using a lot of high technology, and the clients that I was managing was Blue Origin, Microsoft, Mercedes, Citibank, some of the biggest companies in the world. I left that job in the US and I became a freelance software developer. Been doing freelance for about a year and a half, maybe about 2 years now. I became a startup advisor, so I advised a lot of startups and I helped startups raise money. And in the last 6-7 months, I became a venture capital scout. So I help a fund called the MakerPath Fund, which funds companies to build their projects and their companies without coding and without using coding tools. And that will make more that will make more sense in a little bit. For the last 2 years, I've been documenting about hackathons in a blog and podcast. I've been deep in the no-code space, but I do have a developer background, and I do come from the hackathon ecosystem. So I've been competing in hackathons for many years now, even during my undergrad, even though I wasn't a CS major. So we're going to get into it. What is no code? So no code, there's so many tools today that allow you to create apps, games, voice applications without coding at all. And the advantage of this is that it's quick and it's low cost and it's often low tech solutions to use without coding. Some of the names are, and if you're familiar with no code, you'll know some of these names: Bubble, Glide, Adalo, Webflow, Shopify, Bravo, Airtable. These are some of the biggest names, but there's probably over 100 tools to allow you to make these apps without coding. And today we're going to go over Glide. And Glide, you can specifically make a progressive web app. So you can't put in the Google Play Store, you can't put it in the App Store, but when someone sees it on their mobile, it looks like a regular app. They can save the icon to their device like it's a regular app. The only difference is you can't leverage all the features of a native app, and you can't put it in the Google Play Store or the App Store. And some of the use cases, so what people are building all over the world with these tools, they're building food delivery sites, blogging sites, listing. It can be real estate listing, it can be listing university courses, it can be anything. Social media apps, paid member only sites, so these are like paid communities. People are building online courses, job boards, and marketplaces without even coding. What we're going to build a news and entertainment app for young Ethiopians. And throughout this kind of workshop, throughout this code jam or no code jam, I'm going to show you how to create a database with Google Sheets. So that's where all the data is being stored in Google Sheets, how to create a user interface with Glide, how to create user profiles, and some additional interesting features. To give you an example of what the end output will look like, so this is what it looks like with the free account if you're looking at it on a computer. If you're looking at this on a mobile device, it looks like a regular app. So I'm going to sign in. And again, all of this was made without coding at all, made in roughly about an hour, but it can take you maybe, if you're new, maybe 2 or 3 hours. So it knows who I am. It says, welcome, Dominic Norton. It's great to have you here. There's videos. So we click on this video. It takes us to the video. We can play this video. You can rate it. You can add comments. So if we write a comment, we go back. You can see I actually have articles in here too. So we click on the article. There's an article summary. You can do a similar thing. And what you can do is click read article. When you click read article, it actually opens the web page this time. And there's lots of different features you can add, but these are the ones I've added. You can upload a video here. You can upload an article. And also I have additional tabs. So I have video tabs where you can add it to your favorites. Articles. You can see what ones you uploaded, and you can delete it if you want to delete it. See delete right here. And you got a user profile, and I can edit my user profile. So we're gonna make something like this. We're gonna recreate this, and I'm gonna show you how it works. Has anybody got any questions before we move on? I think no questions. Okay. So the site we're using is glideapps.com, and as you can see, it's free. The site's actually free, and you can go pretty far with the free version. It's not too expensive for the paid ones, but you don't really need the paid ones to kind of get started and see if your idea works. So what you're going to do is create an account. You do need a Google account. I already have an account, so I'm going to log in. One thing I might have skipped off that might be important to show you too is you offer Glide and use your backend database in Google Sheets. So Google, if you don't know what Google Sheets is, Google have this kind of It's like Excel, and if you don't know what Excel is, it's a spreadsheet that allows you to store information. And Google has this. And for Glide allows you to use this backend as a database. So as you can see, my users are stored here. My videos are stored here. My articles are stored here. I even have categories. You can see what users have logged in. So you can see all of that on my backend database. How we're going to start, and maybe I create a new spreadsheet just to show you what it looks like from scratch. So I'm just creating a new spreadsheet just to show you what it looks like from scratch. So I'm going to create a blank spreadsheet. And I'm going to name some, I don't know. What should I name this? I'm going to name this, I'm just going to name it Hello World, just for now. So I name this Hello World. And I'm going to name this first sheet users. And just for now, we don't need to completely fill out this sheet, but just one full name. The minimum I need for my users are full name, email, and image. And just to get started, I am going to create my first user, which is me. So now we've set up the minimum we need for our Google Sheet. What we're going to do is sign in with that same account in Glide. And it takes us to a dashboard. On this dashboard, you can see all the apps that I have made. I made quite a lot. But all you have to do is click New App. And you want to select the source, and the source is Google Sheets. So we're going to wait for that to load. And then I select my Hello World. Say OK. And what that's going to give me is a user interface. And what we are going to do is we are going to begin, if I go to the other sheet, or I think it's this tab, we are going to build out our first tab, which is this videos tab. That's the first tab we're going to start to build. But to do a videos tab, as you can see here, it says source videos. We need a videos tab in our sheet. So we need videos in our sheet. And anytime you add a sheet, you need header rows. And the minimum, the header rows that I put, you can put any header row you want, but the header rows I have put are title, description, image, and URL. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. Those are the header rows that you can see the title, you can see the description, and you're going to see what when you click on this, it's actually loading the URL right here. And so this is what I have here. You want to start by adding information or adding items, adding data. You do want to have sample data to add. I'm going to use my sample data, which I just took from YouTube, and I'm going to take 3 of these. I took random videos from YouTube, and as you can see, the image, and I took the URL. Title, description, image, URL. So there's 2 notes here. The image, you have to save the images in your Google. I have my drive here, and any image that you see in the app, I've put in my Google Drive, and that's an example of a picture. I share it to get the link. I change the link with anyone with the link can view the image. And that's important. So what you end up doing is you put any image you want in your app in here. You change the settings so it's anyone with the link can access it, and you copy the link and you just put it here. So that's what I've done for these images right here. So we're going to go over some of this dashboard. When you first open Glide and initiate an app, you get a dashboard that looks like this. And while I'm actually loading this, and change this to videos. So what you can see different things, and we're going to go over all the different information on this dashboard. But the first thing we're going to go over is style. So style is layout of the information. So you can lay the information out like a list. As you can see, this is just this information right here. It's being laid out as a list. You can lay it out as tiles. You can't lay it out as calendar because it doesn't have no dates. You can't lay it out as map because it doesn't have no location. You can't really lay it out as a checklist. It doesn't have the fields for that. I usually lay it out as cards, but you can also lay it out as like a swipe left, swipe right kind of thing. Or you can lay it out as details, which we may go over that if we've got time a little bit later. But the most basic one that I have found is cards. So you lay it out as cards. What you can see here in this panel right here, you got a tab icon, which you can actually change the icon. So I generally change the icon to home. Well, this is videos, so we might want to change this to videos. So let's change that to video to connect to. This source is connected to the videos. As you can see right here, I have the videos right here. And also it has a label. So instead of users, we're just going to label this videos. What you can see on the other side is what the screen looks like. So there are additional properties that you can adjust on the screen. So if we click on that, you can see the right tab changes, and we can begin to map the data. So as you can see, the image maps to image. It's asking for where is this data coming from. As you can see, I have image here, and it's just pulling the data from. So if I actually remove that, it removes that top header row. And I don't want that anyway, so I'm going to remove that. Title is connected. So as you can see, title is now connected to title. Details. I want to change details to be connected to description. So I made some adjustments to this initial appearance. What I want to continue to do is adjust the design. So I can change the shape to a square. I can change it to vertical. I generally keep it like this. I can change it to full size or half size. So this is half size. This is full size. So let's just leave it at half size for now. And let me actually change this to this. And let's leave it at full size. We can change the card style, so we can change it to outline. We can change it to none. Let's leave it as outline. You can change the orientation. I generally keep the tablet as orientation. You can change the corners to sharp or rounded, so I like to leave it as sharp. If we keep going down, we can change the text style. We can make the text bigger or smaller, the text to 2 or 3. You can add a button. So if you add a button, the favorite button, what it allows them to do is save videos to their favorites. So we'll go back. We're going to leave that like that. You can limit how many items are shown, or you can, it is important, action. So this says what happens when someone clicks on this. When they click on this, you could go to the video. But for this particular case, we don't want that. You have different options to do all different kind of things, call a number, send an email, show a form, view an address on a map. You can do lots of different things, and you can also connect it to things you have coded. But what we're going to do is view details, and what view details does is when you click on it, it opens its own data entry. So when I click on this, it opens this screen. But what we want to do, this doesn't look like how we want it to look. Remember, here we have the detail screen. That's basically what it's opening. This same style. This is what a detail screen looks like by default, but we can make adjustments. And this is where it really gets interesting. What we can do, we can add text. We can add images, we can add buy buttons and check boxes. We can add pickers for people to upload things. We can add charts. There's lots of different things we could add. And we're going to start to build out this screen. So the way we're going to build this screen is I'm going to add the title. I'm going to make some adjustments. And I can either give it customized text and say hello, or I can give it dynamic text and pull it from the database. So this has pulled it from the database and it's pulling the title for that particular video. I'm going to do a similar thing with the description. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to change the size. I'm going to change the alignment. Oh, made a mistake. So let me move that. I'm going to change the size, going to change the alignment, and then I'm going to change the source to description. So now you can see we're building out our detail screen. What I want to do is add a video. So I just click video, and it automatically maps it to image, but that's wrong. I want it to map it to URL. So it maps it to the URL. And what I may also do, I think that's all the information. Image, URL. So that's all the information that I want, but you can also add more information if you want to add more information. So what I might add is a comment section for people to comment on that particular video. So you can see here, I've added a comment section. And I can change the order to newest first, oldest first. You do want to make a section for comments. For example, videos, you want to make an actual section for comments if you're going to add a comment section. And I'm going to add a rating section, so I'm going to add rating. So we go back, and it automatically, if you update the database, Glide automatically picks up these new columns. So I want to say yes. When I click on this, I go back on, get rid of that, and the comment section is mapped to comments. You just want to comment section. We can add rating. So we can add a rating, and we're going to map that to, there should be rating here. So we just refresh the page so it can pick up the rating. So let's see if rating comes up. I have to wait a little bit for the rating, so I'll just remove that for now until it loads. But as you can see, when we click audition, you can watch the video and we can go back. Does anybody have any questions so far? No questions at all? Okay, so we're going to keep going. What I also want to do is create a home page. So this is a video page, but I actually want to create a home page. So what I'm going to do is add a new tab. I'm going to call this home. I'm going to change the icon to home. But this time, what I want to do is change the style to details. When you change the style to details, it is the most flexible style. So now the style is details. What I can actually do, I can still add my list on the details page. So I might add a title. Remember, we added a title before, but this time I don't want it to say full name. I just want it to say, welcome to app. And we're going to make that big. We're also going to add a list. So anytime you have data, like you have here, videos, it's its own, and you want to add that on a detail screen. On a detail screen is a list. So I add a list. As you can see, it automatically maps to users, but I can change that. And now you can see the videos. So if I remove that, you can see videos. And remember, we can style this however we want to style this. All we have to do is click on, you have to click on videos, and we can style this how we want to style this. So I might style it as cards. And this time, I might make it horizontal. So now, you have to scroll horizontal to see the videos. And I click on this again. We also fit back to add a space. I'll just add a separator. I can remove the line divider. And maybe I want to add another title to tell people this is videos. I might say something like featured videos. So now we have our app. We have featured videos on our homepage. We have a separate page full of videos. What we might also want to do on this inline list on our videos is we might want to limit the number of items to 2 or 2. Now that we limited the number of items to 2, you can only scroll and see 2 items. And when you click see all, it takes you to a page where you can see all the items. And again, we have to style this, and we'll go through styling it. Now you know how to style. I'm not gonna go through this.
Sorry, Dominic, I think you have a question in the chat box.
Okay.
So yeah, Brooke Becker asked
Let's
where.
see. If you just say the question, because I can't,
Okay.
I'm not sure where the tab is.
All right. Did the action change for all the other pages? Or Brooke, you can open your mic and ask him yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so did the tab, you changed the action for a single page, right?
Yeah, hold on. I just go back to it. So
You
yeah,
yeah.
when you change the action, you change it for that particular. So you see, I clicked on this inline list here. Let's say if I change the action to something like open link, it only changes it for this particular one. So when I click on this, it opens the link. But if I go to videos and I click on this, it's still this. It's a whole different action, because like here you can change the settings separately. As you can see, this is still view details, but when I go to this inline list and I go down to the action, this is open link.
Okay.
And like I said, you don't have to limit yourself to the actions provided. You can create custom actions inside the platform, or you can code something outside the platform and use a webhook, or you can use Zapier, which is a tool to connect. You can connect all these different resources. If I pull out the Zapier real quick, you can connect GitHub if you wanted to connect GitHub. You can connect, there's so many different things you can connect with Zapier. So you can trigger actions however you want to trigger actions. It's just up to you.
Okay, so follow-up question.
Yeah.
Let's say I wanted to make the action similar for all the other pages, and I had a lot of pages. Is there any way that I can make a specific action work for all without doing it repeatedly for all the other pages?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna have too many pages like that. I'll show you this. So I have videos 3 times. So I have videos here on the homepage. I have videos here on its own tab, and I have videos on my upload. Each of the actions the same, and I really didn't do a whole lot. And again, it's not a lot of work. If you want to change the action, you just go down, scroll down, and you just change the action to what you want to change it to. But you can't. It's not like creating IDs or classes. You can't really do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to continue. What we are going to do is we have our users tab. If we go back, we have our users tab, and currently our users tab isn't set up in our app. So we're going to set up our users in our app so people can create user profiles. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to change the privacy. I'm going to say public with email. I like to allow signing with Google. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to click on the menu, click on this. Now it gives me an opportunity to map the user profile to a sheet. Well, we already have a sheet set up. We have our user sheet set up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to map it to our user sheet. And now you can see automatically it comes up. So when we go back, I do not have a profile page, and maybe that's the next thing we will create, a profile page. But when I go here, you can see my name, my email. Click on it, you can see my profile picture. And right now, we don't really need a profile for anything. But on the other one I created, I have my uploads, and you can only see the uploads for that particular user. Change their name, but you could have, are they a teacher, are they a student? You can have different properties on a person's profile which can enable different things to happen in your app. But that's more a complex workflow, and I don't think we're gonna have time to go over that today. So all I'm going to show you is, if we just get rid of one of these, sorry about this. All I'm going to show you today is how to create this user profile and how to allow users to change their profile. So we're going to do that in our app. What I first want to do is create a new tab. And I'm going to name this tab My Profile. It's the sources, the users tab. I'm going to change this to I'm going to change this to profile. I have my profile. But what I'm going to do specifically, I don't want to show the user all the profiles in the database. Like here, they're seeing all the videos in the database. I don't want to show them all the profiles in the database. So I need to limit their visibility to the profiles. Add another one for myself. So I created two profiles. So when I refresh this, you should be able to see two profiles here. So now you can see two profiles. I don't want to show the user more than one profile. I want them to only be able to see their profile. So the way you do this is you click on the inline list and you have to filter it. So what I'm going to do is go to options, and I'm going to filter limit the items displayed based on their properties. I'm going to add filter, and I'm going to say the email is the signed in user. So now, as you can see, it only shows me that particular email. If I go see this other Dominic, you can see it shows me that particular email of me. As you can see, this is a different email address. So I'm going to go back to my original email address. And what I want to do, I don't want to display the information like this. I don't want to display it in an inline list. I want to display it as details. Now, this is a design preference, but I personally prefer to do it like this. But once you get hang of the platform, you can do it however you want to do it. So I'm going to display its details, and what I do, I add an image, and it sources it from the image, but we know it's pulling it from the users, and it's specifically pulling it from that individual user because we already filtered it. So I'm going to go to that, and I'm going to make some adjustments. Just adjustments I like to make based on my preferences of how I like things to look. And because this is a detail screen, we can add a lot of flexibility to customize what we want the users to see. You know, some people make budgeting apps, like financial planning apps with this. Like lots of people, different people do a lot of different things with Glide because it's really easy to test an idea. So what we're going to do next is add text. We're going to say the full name. I'm going to add another separator right there. I'm going to duplicate this, and this time I want this to be the user's email. And so now we have Dominic, we have my picture, my name, my email under my profile. What do we do when a user wants to change their picture or change their name even? We have to allow them to edit the form. So we allow users to edit. You can see an edit button right here. And when you click this, you can adjust how the form looks. So I'm going to say edit profile. If I make some adjustments to this, so we want to allow them to change their full name, and I'm going to say that's required. So some entry right here is required. We don't want them to change their email so easily. And again, that's just a personal preference. And I want them to change their email, but I'm not sure if I can go back. So this is no, we don't want this. We just want them to upload an image. So we're going to get rid of this text entry, and we want to change this to an image entry. So if I find image picker, I can do image picker, but you can allow people to upload files, to do signatures. And I'm not sure if when I was in the US, we did housing applications, and you could allow them to upload their signature, or there's lots of creative ways to think about doing this. And I'm going to say this is required, and I can allow them to add it from their camera or photo roll, and it's going to go to the image. So now, with this particular user, what happens if I click this, and I'm going to see. I'm going to change my image. And when I click done, it actually changes my profile image. So if I go here, you can see it changed my profile image, and it uploaded directly to my database. So it made changes in my database. As you can see, it changed it right here. If I close this out, so now what we have done, we created a homepage to see where we're at for time. We created a homepage, we created a videos page, and we created a profile. One thing we might want to add on the videos page is we might want users to filter videos by a certain category to your database. So right now in videos, I don't have any category. So what I want to do is add a column called category and type the category. So it might be, I don't know, it might be entertainment. Let's say the first one's news, the second one's entertainment, third one is entertainment. When we go back, what we want to do is go to options. Oh no, sorry, we need to click on our inline list and open the properties for our inline list. And we want to go to options. And what we want to do is allow in-app filter. So we want to be able to filter, and we've got to refresh just so it updates and updates the new columns. So we go back, click on inline list, and filter by category. So now you can see this icon appears at the top, and when someone clicks on it and they filter by, let's say, entertainment, and clicks OK, they can only see the entertainment ones. When they click on news and click OK, they can only see news. Let's say they click all, now they can see everything. Does anyone have any questions? I don't think we have any questions. We probably have about, how long are we going? Are we going, have we got about 13 more minutes? I'll just keep going. I'll keep going for about 13 more minutes. So I'm going to look back at my app and see what else do I have that could be interesting to add. So what I might add on my homepage are some additional features. I added a way for people to upload directly from the homepage. So maybe I'm going to add that to allow them to upload directly from the homepage. So we go back to our homepage and we're going to click add again. And what we're going to say this time, or what we're going to do, is we're going to add text for people to upload a video. So I'm actually going to copy the text from the screen. I'm going to drag it down. Oh, wow. I don't know what happened. Kick me out, but I'm going to go back in. While I'm logging back in, if you have any questions, feel free. If you have any ideas, that would also be interesting. What can you think of that would be great to use this for? Or are there any apps that you've envisioned making? So I'm trying to drag this to the bottom. Okay, so we drag this to the bottom. And what I'm going to do is say, upload your video. I'm going to change the size of this. Any questions, feel free. And I'm going to add a button for people to upload video. And this time, the button we're going to add is a form button. So when they click on this button, instead of open form, we want to say upload video. It's the action we have this time is show form. We're going to give it the title upload video. When they click on it, it allows them to upload the video with a form. The problem with this form that we have by default is the properties and the fields we have are not the right type. So the fields we have are not the right type. We can make an adjustment. So title is right, description's right, image, that's the text entry. That shouldn't be a text entry. What we want is image picker. URL is a text entry, that's good. And what we're actually going to do is make a lot of these required. Not everything has to be required, but you have to have some things required. We don't want comments. We don't want rating. We want them to say what category it is. For categories, interesting. What I usually do for categories is I create a new tab and I call that tab something like video categories. I give it a column called categories and I say news, entertainment. And I do this because anytime I have a drop-down menu, I want that the options to come from the category column. So if we get rid of this and we choose choice picker, if we can find that. Choice. So we want to connect the sheet. We have to refresh this. We're saying when we open this, we're saying the source of the drop-down menus options are coming from video categories, and it's writing data to the category column. So now when a user completes all of this and click submit, we need to change this because we don't want to show the notification. What we want it to do is add a row. And it already maps all this information for us. So when they fill in this information and click submit, it's going to add a new video to our videos sheet. And what you can do if you which is more advanced, I don't know why it keeps logging me out. Let's see. Okay. What you can do, which is more advanced, you can hide and show this based on user permissions. So for example, if I added a user permission and I'm admin, maybe only admin can upload videos, and you can actually hide this based on who they are. So the way to do this, you would go to options and change the visibility, and you might want to say, it might be user permission. I don't have that category, or maybe let's just do that now. I'll go to users. I'll say permission level. I say the first one's admin, the second one's user. I'm going to refresh. And I'm going to say only show the component when permission level is admin. So it shows now. And let me just add one of these after that. But when I go to my other account, let's see. Hold on, let me just see. No, I did this wrong. Only show, so I don't want this one. I want the user's permission level. So only show when the user's permission level is admin. And when we go to this one, we can't see it because that second account I have is just a regular user permission level. So maybe we also remove this text based on similar conditions. You can do this with almost any component. You can hide and show it based on certain criteria. So I only want to show this when the permission level is admin. And maybe I only want to show this one when the permission level is admin. So we're going to do some final things just before we wrap up because it's been almost an hour. We're going to add an image. And again, you can adjust this. And what I may do to give it extra space is just add another separator. And this time I am going to make it large and I'm going to hide the divider. And I might change this image to from URL. I'm trying to think, what images can I use? Remember, you have to get the images from your drive. So I'm just going to find a random image in my drive that should be okay to use. I think this is okay to use. So now I'm going to go back to Hello World. I'm just going to type the URL here. As you can see, it's not pulling that from my databases. I type the URL directly into that image. And maybe at the bottom, the last thing maybe I want to do is just add maybe my watermark. So add another separator. Make that small. Center this. Add custom, and I say made with. Made by. So that's it. We have our basic entertainment and news app. As you can see, I've done a lot more on my one. Here we go. I've done a lot more on my one. I've added, it understands who the user is and gives a response based on the user. I've added different types of lists and made them things. You can see all the videos. You can see the articles. I have uploads where you can actually see what you've uploaded as a user, and you can actually delete it or edit it if you're the user of that, if you're the person that uploaded that particular video. So what I've done on that app is I have posted by, and if it's posted by the current user, then they can see this edit user. I should be able to log into a different user. And I actually have something a little bit, I have an onboarding section on this, but if I just fix that real quick. So what you'll be able to see when what you'll be able to see is when I go to videos and I click on the video, this person cannot edit the video, and I haven't changed the condition, but they can delete the video right now. They shouldn't be able to delete the video. And I haven't set the visibility condition. So if I just do that right now and I say posted by sign-in user, as you can see, it disappears because this user I'm signed in as hasn't posted this, whereas this user has. The final thing we're going to do is we're going to change the appearance a little bit, which is very, very simple. It's not extremely flexible, but it doesn't need to be for you to test your idea and create a really quick app. So you can change the accent color, you can change the style, you can make it dark mode, you can match it to the device's theme or not match it to the device's theme, you can change the font. You also want to adjust app info. So if we go to the app info here, that's this title, the name and description. We're going to leave this for now. You can either change the icon to icons they have, or you can upload your own icon, your own app icon. In the free version, you can't enable desktop mode and you can't enable tablet mode. We spoke a little bit about privacy. What you can do on paid apps is the first page they come to, if we sign out, the very first page they come to, you can add a background and customize it a lot more. So that's not going to work here. But if I sign out of this app, it's going to take you to a welcome page. And if you have a paid version, you can customize this a lot more. So you can add a background image, you can customize the font, you can do a lot more with a paid version. But you don't necessarily need a paid version. To publish our Hello World app, all you have to do is click Publish app, and now it's actually published. But what you might want to do is change the app link to Hello World 123 or whatever you want to name this. And now it's published. I copied the link, and if I just go to a new tab, Hello World 1